Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast, where I have my good friend Dan D'Antoni of the Marshall Thundering Herd on here today. 140 career wins at Marshall. Let's not forget his stellar NBA assistant coaching career with his brother with the Phoenix Suns, the LA Lakers, and the New York Knicks. Last season, though, was a rebuilding campaign for the Thundering Herd, who will look to move forward in their first season of the Sun Belt. Coach, welcome back.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. But I got to do a better job than I did last year, and I think we will.
Yeah. Well, it's those things happen. You have those pseudo years, kind of.
There's a lot of reasons for it, but reasons become excuses. So you might as well got to get on top of it. We got to do better next year, and I believe we will this coming year.
Sure. Now, when you look at going into the Sun Belt, what are the differences in competing in there as opposed to Conference USA?
I've watched every game in Sun Belt last year, almost every game, or every team for sure, 4 or 5 games, and not a lot of difference. Both athletic leagues, both have good coaches, and you know what? Although maybe a little more renowned history of basketball for teams in the Conference USA, there's a good history in the Sun Belt. And Sun Belt was put together for basketball. And I know Marshall's worst defeat, one of the worst defeats we ever had, was to Louisiana. And they had Bo Lamar, and they were ranked like 12th in the country. And Marshall was ranked 9th. And they got beat 111, 105 in the NCAA tournament. So there's a lot of history there. Looking forward to it. It's going to be good basketball.
Good basketball. So is it more, in your estimation, is it a faster pace than Conference USA overall?
No, very similar. I'm telling you, they play very similar. If there is an edge, slight edge, it would be that Conference USA might have a guard that can score in tough situations, that they can just take the game on themselves. And there's a couple more of those in Conference USA, although Sun Belt has a couple, but there's probably a couple more in the Sun Belt. But again, very, very close as far as styles and really accomplishments. So, it's going to be a battle. You have a 14-team conference. It is not going to be easy. And you got one bid, 14 teams, not easy.
Not easy. Every game, even the early games matter because you can go back and trace things into them.
Well, and you lose, and we talked about this in the Sun Belt, and the same was for Conference USA. Like one year, we had 4 teams in the top 100. They had Middle was ranked like 25th in the country, had maybe a 30-some net, and we were like 78. Western was like 82. I think North Texas, I might have this wrong, but North or Texas or La Tech were like in the 90s. We got one bid because what happens is if you have 6 or 7 lower 200 and lower scores in your league, it's impossible to have 2 bids. Yeah, you're going to play even if you win against 200 or more, less or more. It takes away your net score, and you can't get in. So we talked about it some about. We got to get everybody playing at a higher level net score wise. When that happens, you can get more than one bid. Other than that, one bid going to be tough. Going to be tough.
Hey, Coach, we mentioned this earlier, and I know last year was a tough season for you because it was your first losing season in 6 years. How does turning the page, getting these kids into practice, how does that help the kids as well as the coaching staff?
Well, one, we returned all of our significant players. We lost no one to the portal, and we had 2 graduate, but nobody left to go to the portal, and so you had a lot of opportunities to do that. Taevion Kinsey could have gone not only into the draft and probably would have gone late second round. He could have had several colleges that were inferring that they would welcome his presence, as long as
Sure.
and along with Andy Taylor and
Yeah.
Obina Killian. But all three of those decided to come back. And what that tells you is that we have a good fan base and they have good teammates. They're loyal to them and they didn't want to leave with a bad taste in their mouth. And so I think they have taken that. It worked hard this summer to make sure this next season is not what that was an anomaly and not what is accepted here at Marshall.
Yeah, very good. Now, what could be some changes in this team as opposed to last season? What do you see might be different
Well,
from
last year we did not go into the portal, so we
yeah.
were really playing 21-year-olds against 23-year-olds. Well,
Oof,
one year now we're 22-year-olds, so
sure.
they all came back a significant one. So we're closer in age. Number one. Number two, I used the portal, and we brought in a Kaufman kid out of VMI, who
Hmm.
averaged was the second leading 3 point scorer in total in the country. He shoots
Yep.
40% from threes. He's an elite shooter and a good, tough kid who plays hard.
Hmm.
So we took care of a need out of the portal. I don't know the story of the portal yet is written. You take 4 or 5, do a whole team, you base your recruiting on the portal, high school kids, how many, whatever. I don't know that that formula has been written yet. What we tried to do this past year, we had one big need, we filled it. And then of our 7 players right now, and it could change because I got a couple of older players playing a little bit better this year than they did last year. But
Hmm.
of our 7 players, significant players right now, we have 4 brand new players.
Yeah.
And we have that great leadership of Taevion and Andy at the guards to give you experience. Kaufman, it gives you experience at this level, different team, but similar styles, similar type of play. So it's a smoothless transition. Obina Killian, that was all defensive team conference USA last year, is back. And then we're adding two true freshmen, and Mike Hanlockton, 7'1", out of Charlotte, who fits our style. He's run. He's really a surprise at how well he's playing. Uh, uh, Wyatt Frisks, who was a medical red shirt last year, that 6'10", shoots it outside, is a Jansen Williams type of player, except he puts it on the floor and can do that besides shoot. And then probably one of the best that we have, Jacob Connors, came out of out of Dayton area, and really a smart player, 6'8", shoots it outside, fits our style. So we have 4 new components that we didn't have last year. Plus, like I said, Goran, I can never pronounce his last name, from oh shoot, who am I trying to say? Anyway, one of our 4 kids,
Yeah.
uh, he has really improved, 7 foot, starting to run and play a lot harder. Why? I don't know, but he's playing a lot harder right now. Maybe because he knows he won't get on the floor unless he does, but he's playing much better. David Early's playing well. Marco Serenic is playing well. So we think we're going to give a much better account of ourselves this coming year.
Yeah, and you got Obina Killian. You mentioned him. He's a good defensive presence and, of course, a scorer inside.
Right. Well, it's a little misleading. We had a tough time in the middle. We fought COVID. I can
Hmm.
start stringing out some reasons, but
Hmm.
again, they become excuses. So
Sure.
I don't want to do that. There are reasons, I think, for what happened. We can't
Hmm.
accept that. And I don't want to just say, well, there was nothing we could do. I don't want to do that. I'm not that type
Sure.
of person.
Yeah.
But I really think that this year, the mood, we lost the president, we lost our athletic director. We were
Hmm.
kind of swimming out in the ocean without any leadership for
Sure.
the most of our season. But again, they become excuses, and I'm not going there. We got to be
Right.
better, and I got to be better. And I think
Yeah.
we
I really like Taevion Kinsey. He played 36.9 minutes per game. He averaged 19.1 points, second team All Conference USA. Uh, will his assignments change any here in his fifth year?
Yeah, we're going to, he was, before last year, he was predicted to go first round NBA. Most
Yeah.
people talking in the 15, 16, 17 range. Uh, he had to have the ball more in his hands. We lost Jared West, who left
Mhm.
early. We weren't expecting it. And he left and went to Louisville. And that kind of threw the ball into Andy Taylor's and Tavion's hands more. And they had to
Mhm.
be more of a point guard when they're both of them were more of a, they do point guard things, but
Sure.
they are more of an off ball type of player, attack player. And by getting Cam here, it puts him back into his natural position. And what we see in practice right now, he's back to where he'll be talked about first round. And
Wow.
I just he like yesterday's scrimmage, I think he was 16 of 18 from the floor, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 or 4 steals. That's who he is. And he's an attack guy with a great mid-range jumper. His three-point shot is much better than he shoots it. I think it's a mental thing more than it is a physical thing. And if
Yeah.
he conquers that and gets confidence in it, regardless of whether he's only taken 1 or 2 now, he was taking 5 or 6 the year before. Takes 1 or 2
Sure.
and makes him a much better player. And he's learning to get to the corners. All the accolades I'm giving to you as a player, he's a better
Mhm.
player. A
Sure.
better.
Yeah. You're bringing Curfman in, like you say, from VMI. He knocked down 117 threes a year ago. So him and Taylor on a perimeter. If I'm coaching against Marshall, I've got a tough matchup.
Well, I hope everybody will think that, and I hope we prove that out. But
Yeah, yeah.
we
I
have
think you
four.
will.
Yeah, we have 4 players who have scored double figures at this level,
Yeah.
average, and so anytime you can get 4 players on the floor, they're used to scoring above 10 points. I think Bobina was the lowest, 12. Andy was about 16. Taevion right at 20, and Kaufman right at 16. So we've had a good chance of putting the ball in the basket. We're being much more aggressive defensively now. Kaufman brings you that work ethic too, and toughness that we missed from Jared. So he'll be picking them up, and we'll be trying to get all over the floor with people, and try to widen the game out, get it out, make it a skills and quickness game. We do
Yeah.
that, we got a great chance.
Coach, last thing, I was just curious about your opinion of the state of college basketball. With the NIL and the transfer portal, being talked about incessantly every day.
Well, the thing I worry most about college sports right now, in general, whether it be basketball or anything, is that we've turned it into a not help young men become men
Mm,
into wins, W's and L's, and that's it. And
yeah.
and to me, college is not a pro game. Shouldn't be a pro game.
Hmm.
We're inching the expectations and
Yeah.
how you treat kids. We're inching it toward that type of game. We already
Mm,
have that. It's called the NBA, and you
yeah.
have European game. They are all types of it. And to take, I know people want to rush in, and people deserve money and all of this stuff, and they have to earn it. Da da da. I hear all of it. That money doesn't cure all problems, whether it be
Well,
societal or basketball. It doesn't matter. And
mm,
I just think that I hope that we're careful that the NCAA and that our court systems allow the
sure.
NCAA to monitor the NCAA game and grow the individual as a person, as a young man in our case, or young lady in other cases, but to grow them and help them become successful human beings, and not just well, you're a figure, you're a money. This is how much money you get. This is who you are. You are
Yeah.
your value is only seen in the dollar sign. And
Yeah.
I'm not that way. I run this program, in a way that we try to develop young men. And then if it falls into a career of taking care of you financially, that's great. If it doesn't, we've grown you as a young man, and you're going to be a benefit to society when you leave here.
Coach Dan D'Antoni, the Marshall Thundering Herd, one of my favorites. Coach, it's a pleasure to see you, man. I hope I see
appreciate it, man.
you
Let's go
around.
Herd.
There you go. I like it.
Let's
I like
do
it.
it. Let's go.